Hello, I'm Tyler Goodman. I'm Dot Hill's grandson, and I'd just like to share with you all how this trip to Israel with Trinity Baptist Church has changed my life. My entire life I've asked for proof of God's existence. I was always so jealous of people who lived in the time of miracles, in the time of Jesus, because they got to see with their eyes. They bore witness. I've always said that if only I could have that sort of proof, if only God would show himself to me, that I would believe. Well, I tell you, this week, God has given me undeniable proof that I had given up on finding. And I tell you that if I hadn't lived it, I would call it fiction. For the first time in my life, I've felt his presence, like a living light in my chest, both physical and ethereal, all at once. Beyond that, through all of the people and the group that has come with me, one by one, God has silenced each and every one of my doubts. And believe me, there were many. I came on this trip mostly just because I knew what it meant to my grandma. I expected nothing of it. I just thought it would be cool. I could see some history, see a new part of the world I'd never seen before. But when Pastor Brian first spoke of the poor of spirit inheriting the earth, I felt God's presence for the very first time in my life. It spoke to me so because I had felt so long that I was empty and without purpose. Then again, in the synagogue of Capernaum, in an Roman holding cell, I felt God in my chest, but still I doubted. Over the days, I thought, I had questions. I asked people in the group, I asked the pastors, I asked our guide. I wasn't convinced. I still felt that something wasn't there. And then when our guide spoke of God-given authority, I broke. For I have lived my life according to this, that violence is the ultimate authority upon which all other authority is derived. Then I'm hearing about God, about Jesus, about peace, about how peace conquers all. And I felt God's presence again. Next, I saw how the image of God had been skewed by men and the cold indifference of their laws and their rules. Each time one of the people in the group would read of the word, it was like a question I had had for 10 years had been answered. Dots had been connected, just things made sense. It was unbelievable. Never in my life had I felt that kind of clarity. Then when our group reached the Jordan River, as soon as I saw the water, I felt an overwhelming feeling that now was the time to surrender. I thought to myself, Tyler, you've pondered enough. You've thought enough. You've tried to figure this out by yourself enough. Give up your need for understanding. Give up your need for control. Just surrender. If you know anything about me, you know that I hate asking for help. And just today, in the Garden of Gethsemane, I was sitting there quietly, and I realized that God didn't make me ask. Even now, even after all this time, I didn't ask for this. He reached out to me. And that meant so much to me. I imagine that's what a good father does. He doesn't make a child ask for help. He offers it. I also know this because he's watched over me my entire life. I used to tell people that I'm the luckiest person I know. I thought this was because the universe just had a funny way of working out. I thought I was lucky. I can't tell you how many times I've almost died, or the timing of things just worked out perfectly, or complete strangers helped me out in a pinch, or given me rides, fed me, taken me into their homes. The kindness of the world and the strangers around me has helped me out so many times, and the entire time I just thought, wow, that's how things are. But now I know undeniably that God has been looking out for me my entire life.
declaring Him as Lord of your life? Are you surrendering your life over to Him? Because of your public profession of faith today, we stand in the waters that Jesus stood. We stand in the waters in which Joshua crossed and led the Israelites into Jericho. And it is my honor to baptize you in the name of the Father, like was taught, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, buried with Christ in baptism,